Το πιάσε ο Κάρολ.
Δεύτερο δοκάρι, κεφαλιά, απόκρουση απίθανη του Κάρολ.
I always wanted to be a footballer when I was a young boy, and I played outfield. I was a striker for so many years, till I was 13, 14 years old, until I got bigger, and then started going goals and enjoyed it. I loved training, I loved playing football, and everything was going really, really well for me. Happy. I moved across to England to play for an English club, and moved one of the biggest teams in England was Manchester United. And I had really good 4 years at Manchester United, and then moved on to West Ham. And then one day I had a bad injury. I had a back operation. I had to get a back operation. It was difficult for me at the time. Was, as I said before, it's all about playing football, enjoying it, and training every day. But that was all taken away from me. So I couldn't handle it. I couldn't. 10 months out, maybe 11 months out, not playing football and not training. It was very difficult for me, and I took it the wrong way. And I got very bad depression, and started drinking quite heavily. When you go into depression, you just, for me personally, everybody's different, but for me personally, when I was drinking, I forgot things, I forget things, and I just push it onto the table, yeah. Push it onto the table, and it was the worst thing I could do, because the next day it would come back a lot worse, and it just got bigger and bigger, and I drank more and more. I turned out I became an alcoholic. So that was the first thing I had to fix. The mental depression was, I always fight it every single day. Some days it's good, some days it's bad, but I can control it now, because I know what I'm thinking, I know what I'm doing. Drink never done that for me. It put me the wrong way. It just released the pain, but the depression was always going to be still there after finishing drinking. I speak to a lot of people about my problems, and I want to let people know what it's all about and what I went through. I played at the highest level. I played in Denmark, I played in Greece, I played in Crete, and it happens everywhere. It's not just in Greece. It's the same. It's like football all over the world. You can't say anything as a player. You try and hide it, and you keep it to yourself, and that was the hardest thing I could do. I had no football after I left Derby County. I had no football for 9 months. I had no club, I had no nothing, and I was drinking every day. And then one day I woke up, I split up from my wife, my kids, and I woke up in an apartment, and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't recognise myself in the mirror, and something just clicked in my head and said that was enough. I had to sort myself out. I was very lucky. I said to everybody, sometimes that you might not have that luck. It could be too late, and it's a scary thought how close I was to. If I drank any more, I probably would end up passing away. And I had strength, and I came to Greece. I had a guy rang me up, and Stelios, I'm still friends with him at the moment, and he got me a move to Crete. And it was difficult. It was very difficult. It took me 3 to 4 years to stay off the drink. I've been off the drink now for 11 years, and it was a long road, a very hard battle. But if you want to do it, you can do it, but you have to give 100%. You can't just say I'll do it tomorrow, because you might not have that tomorrow to come to. I say it all the time. We qualified for the Euros 2016 in France for my country, and we got beat against Wales, and basically I was crying on the bench, not just because of the football, it's because what I put my family and my wife through. And it wasn't just me I was hurting everybody around me. I'm proud, yeah, I'm proud, and it's nice, it's just nice I can give out what I went through and tell other people what I've went through, and hopefully it might help some people in life to come going forward. It's difficult for footballers because it's your job. Basically I never really came out until I moved away from the UK, and spoke to the press and spoke to broadcasts, newspapers. The people in Greece made me feel welcome, and I appreciate everything the Greek people did for me. Offi was the team who brought me in. Olympiakos brought me in and played the highest level football again, Champions League, Europa League. And no doubt about it, it's very hard for footballers to come out and say anything, because managers might not take them players because they've got a problem. And that's what happens. This is real life. I'm not going to sit here and say, come out and speak about your problems. They might not have a job the next day. It's very difficult for me to say that. But please talk. Please go to somebody one-on-one and speak out, because it's good to talk. It's very good to talk and get things off your chest, because if you keep things inside, it would just explode, and that's what happened. Yeah, it just eats away at you. It's very difficult. But for me, for the Greek footballers, it's all about, if you don't want to speak to the clubs, you don't want to speak to anybody around the football area, go and speak to somebody, your best friends or whoever you can speak to openly, and get things off your chest, because it's the only way forward. Because if you can't do that, you're going to have a lot bigger problems. I've met a lot of good people in Greece. I appreciate everything what they've done for me. My advice to that footballer would be like, speak about your problems. Why do you need to drink? Why do you need to do for me personally, drink was the massive thing for me, but when I drank was to forget things. And for me, you cannot forget things. So my advice for the footballer who come to me to speak to me is be open about the problems you have. We have a lot of help. People can ring up, speak to somebody, and it's privately. And even if you don't know them, or it's just openly, get your everything out in the open. And that's the biggest word, what you've just said, don't be scared. I think it's fantastic what the Greek Association is trying to do now, Football Association trying to do for players. I think it's a lot of, we are working with, I work for the young goalkeepers and young outfield players, and we talk about mental health all the time at a young age. Social media is a big thing as well. You can go through bad times on social media. I'm not on social media. It's just one of those things. For me, it's a bad world, social media, and it's just my opinion. A lot of people use social media for work and everything, but for me, it's a lot of bad things on it, like sad news, sad things, and people. For me, footballers, we are human. We're not just robots. I know we play in front of big crowds, but we are still human. We still get feelings. But we say in the UK, thick skin. You need to be thick-skinned to be a footballer. You need to be mentally strong. But people can go different ways. Like myself, with my depression was through injury. I wasn't prepared to have a long injury, so you could work with young kids coming through, and say sometimes you can have a bad injury, and you could be out for a year. You could be out for a year and a half. So what way you can work through, have something outside football as well, not just football. That was my problem. My life was football, and when I never could do that for nearly 10 months, it was very difficult for me. Yeah, I look back now and said to myself, I was very selfish, because a lot of players that I knew play football had to retire from bad injuries, but I was quite lucky. I came back and played, but at the time it was difficult, because you didn't know when I was coming back with a back injury, so it was hard. All I thought was I played till I was 35, 36, 37, and then I never thought I'd be sitting here being a goalkeeping coach of my country. But when I got near to my time, I said I want to be a goalkeeping coach. I want to open my own goalkeeping school in Northern Ireland, coach young kids, not just for on the pitch but outside football, and get them mentally prepared for life instead of just focus on football, because there's a lot of things outside football as well you can focus on as well. My son remembers it. He was probably 10 years old when I was really bad, and my daughter was around 5, 6. She can't remember, that's my most regret in my life, was my kids seeing me like the way I was, and plus my wife, because she's seen it every day, and it wasn't good. But things happen for a reason, I say, in life, and that was my reason. And now I'm the person I am today. I can speak to people and talk about my problems and try and help people to get over their problems if I can. Children comes first is right. My son, he's 23 and he's still like a child to me. I know you might laugh at me, but I was a very shy person. I was very shy. No, my daughter's shy though. She takes after me. Yeah.
She looks like you.
Oh, no, she's nicer looking. She's nicer.